I don't like making these videos. I really don't. I really wanted Mortal Kombat 1 to be a success, and by all accounts, in terms of sales and revenue, it's actually brought in. It's a success, but in terms of quality, if it's not been evident before, I think the last 2 weeks have pretty much just nailed it perfectly. The potential's there, but the current status of Mortal Kombat 1 is not to be desired. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Dynasty back again with some Mortal Kombat 1 controversy. You guys do know that the last 2 weeks I've posted not one, but 2 videos discussing how
Mortal Kombat 1 is dying!
Which is tongue-in-cheek, some hyperbole, obviously. I think this franchise is safe just because it's got 30 years of lineage. I think it's going to take like 3 MK1s to probably kill the franchise. However, sales does not equate to quality. And I do think that we can all agree the state of the game is not where it should be. It's not any better than where Mortal Kombat 11 was in 4 or 5 months post-launch of that game. Same can be said for MKX. And it's kind of scary because we have some game-breaking stuff in their main features that are slowly being addressed, but at the same time, are they being addressed fast enough? And when you have communication issues between the studio and us, the fans, being abysmal and non-existent, it leaves you to be worried. And I think that's kind of where we all are as part of the community. We are concerned, which is why you're seeing every day people like myself posting our displeasures when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1, because ultimately, we make these videos to hold the studio accountable, the publisher accountable, and hopefully see a better version of the game. At least for me, at least from what I gather from you guys, that's kind of why we voice our opinions, our concerns, because we love Mortal Kombat 1 and we want this game to ultimately be better and truly enjoyable. So today I'm firing from the hip because you guys do know that since Quan Chi dropped, we've been having this major desync issue when it comes to the online combat league, which is by far the only game mode you could really play with Mortal Kombat 1 apart from offline invasions, which can be done in about 10 hours, and the single player story mode. So for the most part, all you really have to do is play Combat League, and when half of the matches are still being disconnected, the state of the game is in limbo, I'd say. And obviously you guys do know that this Thursday Tekken 8 drops, so as a Mortal Kombat fan, it's been very concerning, but I'm just glad that universally, at least from the last 2 Mortal Kombat 1 is dying videos I've posted, I think all of us are in agreement that we want this game to be better despite the bullshit. This is not how we want the legacy of Mortal Kombat to continue to go down. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about that because obviously MK1's not dying. This is by far one of the most successful games of 2023, December of last year, January of this year. It continues to sell like hotcakes, yet the quality is, it's not fixed yet. It keeps going down the toilet, so we'll be talking about that today. Obviously, I pretty much have no direction of where this is going, but if you want to hear me rant and give my take on the response I've been seeing lately to all the Mortal Kombat 1 is dying videos and threads and articles, do me a solid, take a second, drop a like on the video. I want to say thank you guys for watching my last 2 videos discussing this because it's nice to know that I'm not crazy. Sometimes I feel like I'm being too hard on this game and maybe I'm tripping. Maybe this game's actually better than I think it is at times, but when I see the feedback from you guys, I can kind of just get back in my seat and be like, all right, I'm not tripping. This game is lacking content. It's bare bones. We should not be having desync issues. Will crossplay even work when that update drops next month? Like, so it's just nice to kind of vent. This is like therapy for, I think, all of us here. So I love you. Thank you for everything. Without further ado, let's talk about it. So you guys do know that after the desync issue happened, finally we got this update that was meant to fix everything. Surprise, it didn't. Then it took them 4 or 5 days to come out and communicate to us that that wasn't fixed. And sadly, we've still got no updates from Ed Boon, Derek Kurtzik, Tyler Lansdowne, the community managers, the specialist. And we've just been left waiting. The response we got from the official Mortal Kombat account was simply just, hey, we know it's broken, we're trying to fix it. No ETA, nada. And at this point in time, still, nada, nothing. However, a WB community manager came out and said something that I think is kind of to be expected. Then they went and did a 180 and deleted their tweets, which kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth because going back to the whole idea of us wanting just some transparency between like when they plan on fixing this, how far along is the update going to fix desync issues, you know, just feedback between the studio and the community. Seeing somebody give a response, then kind of go back into their cave and hiding is very tough to be optimistic when that happens. So let's talk about it. Now, this is coming from a Warner Bros. Community manager, not a NetherRealm Studios community manager. So somebody who is not at the studio. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know this guy's personal life, but I think that's worth keeping in mind. And I'm not trying to send hate his way, despite this guy hating me in his personal life. I do not want you guys to bother them. So I'm going to be blurring out their ads. But they came out and said, I promise you that if we, community manager and social media managers, had the liberty to run social media and give you every update we could without first having to go through many rounds of approvals for multiple teams, we would. It's just not as simple as many are assuming. Then from there, he went on to say, I swear we see your frustrations. We do our absolute best to take what you say to the right people and propose the best solutions to address your concerns behind the scenes. Unfortunately, not every solution is as linear as we hope, and many things take more time than we would like, which honestly is a pretty solid response. However, like you can see here, this post has been deleted within like 18 hours. It was wiped off the face of the earth. The WB call him and be like, we're going to drop an AC-130 strike if you don't delete this tweet. How dare you give in to the community asking for some feedback? Delete the tweets, which again, just sets the tone that do they really want some transparency? And people have been really just snarky about this statement that was made, being like,
well, duh, like, you should know better. Like, obviously, everything has to be vetted. The community managers have to make sure their statements can actually go through by higher-ups. And
it's like, okay, but let's talk about that process. Why is that process so bad when you have other studios in the gaming industry who are known to have a good reputation between the community, studio, the publisher? Why is it that WB Games is just fucking dog water when it comes to being honest with issues? Why are they forcing the likes of a Derek Kurtzik and Ed Boon, a Tyler Lansdowne to be quiet? How come? Wouldn't it be just easier to be honest and admit when your game sucks and has some issues? Because that would at least, as a consumer, make me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy, and at least there's changes dropping soon, which is why we've been going so hard. I say we, the community, because we were hoping to get a response, and thankfully we did. You know, I get it. It was bare bones, but it's better than nothing. But to see things like this get deleted just scares me, because you guys, you know, we've been pretty open about the fact that they've been really shitty with communication for years now. Going back to the days of Mortal Kombat 11 to now, if there's one complaint we've always had, it's just been the lack of communication between the studio and us, and seeing somebody give an honest response and seeing that get deleted really does, it gives me no hope. I'll be honest. If you have the studio cracking down and being like, you can't even say things like that, you can't even say that, you know, you can't talk. I'm sorry, but what the fuck, man? I guess it comes with working for the studios, obviously. They pay your bills. Obviously, it's more important than like sticking it to the man, depending on who you are. So I get why this person deleted their tweet, but at the same time, man, it's like, I don't think it did any favors. And it's really unfortunate, because I just wish that this statement wasn't even needed. I wish that the likes of Ed Boon could just be a voice of reason to come out and be like, hey, we get your complaints. We have all this planned. And thankfully in the past he has. Boon came out and asked us in that voting poll, hey, what do you want to see added to Mortal Kombat 1? Granted, all those things should have been in the game from day one, but that was a nice change of pace. But that happened back in the beginning of November, and we really haven't heard anything like that from Ed Boon since. So again, why can't we have more of that? And why are we having shit like this happen and it get deleted? It just seems fucking sus. And it makes me worried. And I know I'm not the only one concerned, because when this happened, I actually came out and said, to no one's surprise, a certain WB community manager deleted all of his posts, saying that they can't say anything in regards to numerous MK1 complaints unless it's vetted by their upper management. And look at the response we got here. Almost 500 likes. 500 likes. All of us, I think, are pretty much concerned. If you go and read the response I got from this tweet, ultimately, it's just all of us wishing that it wasn't like this and communication was taken seriously. But it's not. At least it still hasn't been as of the last couple of days, other than the, hey, we know it didn't help, see you later, that's all we got. Funny enough, I shouldn't say funny, but scary enough, the community manager that made that statement continued to block people who were, I guess, countering his response, which is, again, when you're blocking people in your community who are giving you valid criticisms, what the fuck? Head in the sand, echo chamber. It's scary. It's really fucking scary. And that's kind of like the state of where we're at. Now, this is the data from the United Kingdom. It's the most recent one I could find. Here's the full UK software sales chart for the week that ends in January 20th, 2024. Number 5 for this month is Mortal Kombat 1, which was number 3 last week. So even still, that's selling more than Modern Warfare 3, selling more than Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Bro, MK11 Ultimate is in the top 10, which is crazy, because that game came out 4 years ago. And this continues to be the go-to when people say Mortal Kombat 1's not dying. It was the number 8 most sold game of 2023, which, again, I mean, to be expected. I mean, look at the situation we're in. They're charging us for fatalities, for classic skins that are butchered in terms of their design, for a bare bones game, like, and it's still selling like hotcakes off of name value alone. So again, I just think it's crazy how people are like, it's not dying, when it literally is. It might be a slow burn, but bro, chestnuts are fucking roasting, and this franchise is slowly dying. It's not gonna happen overnight. It took 30 years to get to this point for them to become the fucking villain. But regardless, it's still selling good, and people are just sticking to this and being like, your argument's invalid, look at the sales. And it's like, bro, sales do not equate quality. Which led me to make this tweet a couple of days ago. Shills think because MK1 is selling millions of copies, that somehow translates to it being a good game that isn't dying. You know what else sells a shit ton of copies annually? Madden and NBA 2K. Franchises that have been relatively the same regurgitated bullshit for nearly a decade outside of a roster update. They'll do anything to defend this shit, but at least we know who's genuinely concerned about the state of the franchise. Quantity equals quality if it's MK1, apparently. And again, a great discussion here from all my homies in the replies, and it's nice. It's nice to know that I'm not tripping, I'm not crazy, despite seeing people being like, it's selling great, what are you talking about? It's like, bro, you can't even play online. They can't keep doing this. They're gonna eventually piss us all off, and every day I get 100 comments that say, I'm not buying MK13. I'll never pre-order another Mortal Kombat game again. Like, it's a slow burn, guys. It's not gonna happen overnight. Yet people are like, it ain't dying. It ain't dying. If responses like this continue to take 4 or 5 days to get tweeted out when we're having major issues, it's gonna die. Again, this shit doesn't happen overnight, but empty blanket statements days and days and days after, keeping the entire community in limbo, it sucks. It really does suck, because if they were just honest and transparent, we could look past a lot of these issues. But the fact that, you know, people are putting out statements and deleting it, things of that sort's happening, it's like rainbows and roses, nothing to be concerned about here, right, guys? MK1's doing well, we're selling great, and that's not the route we got to take. Which is why it's cool to see the entire community kind of rally, a lot of us, and be open and honest and just say the game fucking sucks right now. I think us making videos like this, even if you are a shill and saying, but the sales are great, so it's not dying, I think it's nice to know that we're having this dialogue. But I feel like this happens with every fucking NetherRealm Studios game. I remember going back to the days of Mortal Kombat 11, hashtag, why did NRS do this? Like, it's always been an issue. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Are we really gonna do the same song and dance that happens every single time a NetherRealm game comes out, where we complain about communication and lack of content, and they come out and they say, oh, hey, we're listening, It doesn't change, and it's just the same vicious fucking cycle, bro. And I hate it. So that's where we are right now. That's been the response since our last video. Go look at YouTube and see all the pro players talking about it. It is what it is. Some people say, why do you make content on Mortal Kombat 1 if you fucking hate the game so much? It's like, because I'm trying to bring awareness to a situation that I feel like needs to be pointed out with this platform. If I didn't stand up and just put my chest out and be like, yo, your game's fucked, I'd feel horrible in 2 or 3 years when the next installment is just as bad, if not worse. So I gotta try to use my voice. I gotta try to rally the troops and give some constructive feedback, because that's ultimately what we all want, is a better product, a better game that we already paid for. They already have our money, so can you please just make it worthwhile? That's all we want. And, you know, them being so bad at communication is just a tale as old as time, I'd say. But guys, that's all I got for y'all today. That is the state of Mortal Kombat 1, despite the sales still being great. We're having community managers still silent or coming out and be silenced, which should tell you everything. If a publisher's having to tell you to delete your tweets, like, bro, it's right there. It's on the nose. When they're making their own community managers say you can't even say it, what it is, what the fuck? So, industry standard, I get it, but it's just a bad look all around. It is. When there's other studios who are loved by the community for their communication, what's this excuse for the studio and this publisher? So is Mortal Kombat 1 dying? I'll let you be the judge, but I know come Thursday, I'll be playing a certain something else, and I hope you are too. Love you guys. Thank you for everything, and let's hope it gets better. Peace.
Living on it,